Hello, good morning, everyone. It's good to have you here. Welcome to our HydroPeptide mini-series presentation where we're going to discover the in-depth technology within each HydroPeptide product. So this is the first of many to come on every individual product that we have. And today we're going to specifically be discussing HydroStem+6, a stem cell antioxidant serum. We appreciate you being here today and encourage you to use this presentation as a learning resource and as a platform for your product of the week or product of the month learning with you and your staff. It is our hope that in this presentation you'll get a deeper knowledge and understanding of the science behind HydroStem, but then this will also assist in recommending and selling this product to your guests. We're also going to follow today's presentation with a 13-question quiz. So grab your pen and paper, take thorough notes, and let's begin. All right. So by now, a lot of you know who, I don't know how many of you are current accounts and how many of you are prospects, but many of you are already very familiar with HydroPeptide. But for those of you who aren't, HydroPeptide is a leader in peptides, and with our VLR technology, we blend these peptides into multifunctional formulations, including hyaluronic acid, botanical stem cells, plant-derived growth factors, and more. And with this, it's creating results-driven, award-winning formulations that are customizable, addressing every skincare concern, including reducing fine lines and wrinkles, increasing hydration, enhancing that luminosity. And as you know, we are found within your prestige spas, also in your physician offices, your medical spas as well. And what is, so for those of you who don't know what VLR is, this is HydroPeptide's point of difference, our VLR technology that stands for applying a variety of peptides at their clinical levels with repetition. Many brands include peptides in their line, but HydroPeptide is different where we're taking that peptide technology, we're applying a variety of peptide, over 60 different peptides, all at their clinical levels so that you have that amplified signal for whatever that peptide is designed for, many being for collagen production, and we're also applying those with repetition. So throughout the beauty regimen, you're going to get peptides that are helping the skin to become more nourished and also leading to that more visibly useful skin. So with HydroPeptide, we're focusing primarily on peptides within every product, but we also are creating these great synergies. We're HydroPeptide, so we're blending hyaluronic acid in the majority of our products, but we're synergistically blending these peptides with other antioxidants, botanical stem cells, plant-derived growth factors, as well as other results-driven ingredients into these very clean-based formulations. We call it clean science. And what these are able to do when we're combining these antioxidants with peptides is that they're stabilizing the delivery, they're boosting regeneration and suppressing free radicals from interference in various ways. By blending our peptides with peptides, the antimicrobial properties of our preservatives actually help to stabilize and prevent the breakdown of the peptides in the formulation. Our strong antioxidant concentrations are important in preventing free radicals that cause cellular damage, and by suppressing free radicals, it's allowing those signaling peptides to generate an anti-aging response without interference. Our hyaluronic acid is maintaining the formulation integrity and helping in the delivery of signals to the skin, and our growth factors are bulb extracts that stimulate our existing growth factors into action without having additional or unnatural growth factors impacting the response. So these natural growth factors have a natural cadence of stimulation and a built-in mechanism to turn itself off so that you're getting all the great benefits of growth factors without any controversial results. And we also have quite a thin fans and friends following. With recent coverage in Allure, New Beauty, and Health magazine, HydroPeptide is capturing not only the attention of celebrities such as Lauren Conrad, Trista Stutter, and Macklemore, but we have over 40,000 Facebook fans and followers, which are creating impactful brand awareness for us as well as for our spa partners. And specifically with HydroStem was recently in New Beauty magazine. It was named a product that's going to help to reduce wrinkles, and also it's that first step to younger looking skin. Cara Santana, I don't know how many of you have heard of her before, but she is someone who's been in Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3, but she has said on her press that HydroStem is rejuvenating your look with amazing skin enhancement. So it's definitely something that is catching the attention of people around. Now, I'm going to pause really quick, and I'm going to ask, can everyone hear me okay? Is the sound doing well? Go ahead and type into the chat box if you can hear me all right. I'm getting a few responses. Perfect. All right, wonderful. All right, so just moving on. So now we're going to jump right into HydroStem. So in your retail training outlines, I'm sure that many of you have seen, and also our manual that we have, HydroStem is a very multifunctional ingredient. It's called our stem cell antioxidant serum, and it really is a must for day and night use, but even for daytime use. If you're going to use the HydroStem and you're going to combine it with Power Serum, we really recommend that you're using HydroStem as that daytime serum. There was actually a recent study done, and it talked about the importance of topical antioxidants and how important they are for the skin. And when you're applying topical vitamin E, so there's one antioxidant in the skin called vitamin E, and in heavily polluted areas such as Los Angeles, which happens to be the city in the U.S. with the highest ozone levels in the world, it's actually Mexico City. But when the skin is exposed 6 consecutive days for 2 hours of exposure to these highly polluted areas, it actually resulted in a 75% loss of vitamin E on the surface layers of the skin. And within just 2 hours, had a 25% decrease in the vitamin E within those topical layers of the skin. And that's of the utmost importance, because what happens when you lose that antioxidant concentration within the skin? It's leading to that DNA damage. It's leading to the damage in collagen and elastin in the surface of the skin. And what's going to happen is that when you're applying these topical antioxidants, they're actually going to delay the signs of aging. It's going to provide this protective shield to help support and protect and prevent and defy aging. So we're going to, with HydroStem, it's something that you shouldn't leave home without. It's something that's going to be that great shield for your skin. It's going to delay the signs of aging. It's going to ensure that longevity and that renewal. It's going to increase that nourishment and hydration, and it will help to reduce the appearance of wrinkles. Now, one of your test questions, HydroPeptide, HydroStem has been an award winner. It's been featured in Truth in Aging. It won Best Peptide from LNE magazine, and also was in Day Spa magazines, and then of course just recently in New Beauty magazine. You want to apply a pea-sized amount of this product. A little bit of HydroStem goes a long way underneath your moisturizer and your SPF, and it's going to provide that superior shield to protect your skin from free radical attack, and also help to reduce those fine lines and wrinkles. So what's making up that HydroStem is we have 6 botanical stem cells. So today we're going to talk about those botanical stem cells, and also those Boudelogie, Gudicola, Echinacea, Gardenia, Edelweiss, as well as Lilac. It's made up of 5 peptides. You have your 2 volumizing peptides, coenzyme Q10 activating peptides, and your preservative peptides. And then green tea and niacin, among other things. So we're going to talk about that more in depth today. But just as far as the quiz question, note kind of those main key ingredients that are made up within, or that are comprised within HydroStem. Now, before we get into that, we're going to talk a little bit about the growth in natural ingredients. So HydroStem contains the 6 botanical stem cells, and there is quite a growth movement in the natural personal care market. It actually grew by 10.6% to reach almost $30 billion at the manufacturer's level in 2013. And this is important to note because it's not only this natural you're seeing this great movement in natural, but then you're also seeing a great movement in naturally inspired products. So 55% of that about 30 billion was of naturally inspired products. And so with botanicals, you're seeing that plants are comprised. We want to talk a little bit about, before we talk about botanical stem cells, I want to talk a little bit about botanicals and plants themselves. I like to say that botanical stem cells amplify nature, but let's first find out what that actually means. So what really makes up of a plant? Sometimes we think of a plant as just being a stem, a leaf, a flower, but plants are comprised of rich biologically active molecules. They're called secondary metabolites, and they aid in the growth and the development of the plant, and they offer this defensive mechanism to protect against environmental aggressors. You've heard of, many of you maybe have heard of flavonoids before. I know that we include it in our manual material, but sometimes you might be thinking, well, really, what is a flavonoid? What is a polyphenic compound or a terpenoid? So what is that exactly? And what they are, there's actually this rich array of thousands of different substances found in virtually all plants, which include different groups of flavonols, isoflavonoids, flavonones, anthocyanins. You may have heard that before within acai, within our solar defense. And within each of these groups falls hundreds of different flavonoids such as quercetin, rutin, hesperidin. You may have heard of hesperidin in the eye authority. So flavonoids function as antioxidants. They neutralize other reactive oxygen-containing molecules and prevent reactive molecules from damaging the cells. Many protect cells themselves, while others increase glutathione. And we've heard of glutathiones before in the eye authority. And this is an antioxidant peptide that already exists in the body that declines with time. And it helps to support vitamin C with a synergistic benefit, or flavonoids also help support vitamin C with a synergistic benefit and appear to control inflammation. So you're getting a rich array of different benefits from these secondary metabolites or metabolites that are found within plants. So, and in addition, you'll find that there's amino acids in there as well. So let's just go a little bit further into a graph. I like this graph because sometimes we can forget just how complex the plant is. Just like our own human bodies are comprised of structures within structures and are very complex, there can be 8,000 different phenolic structures within a plant. And they're found within the cell walls. They contribute to the plant's defenses, even to the color of the plant or even the flavors within the plant. So you can see, I like to say sometimes that botanical stem cells are super antioxidants because the plant itself is already comprised of all these different components, these secondary metabolites. So when we talk about stem cells, the future of stem cells is very great. And within this rising growth of naturals, you're going to see even more botanically derived stem cells. We've seen it. We've seen it in HydroPeptide products. We have 6 botanical stem cells itself within the HydroStem, but there are, we incorporate 9 within our line, but you're seeing it in other products. And we are in the midst of seeing plant stem cell technology rise, and it's rising at a rate of 7.7%. They're expecting it to rise between that percentage between 2010 and 2016. And HydroPeptide is at the forefront of this technology. So let's talk a little bit about plant stem cells and where they're found within the plant. So they're located in the meristem and aid in the renewal and the growth of the plant. It allows for this self-healing. We all have observed how when you detach a leaf from a plant, it's capable of regrowth and regrowing that leaf back. So these stem cells help and allow for this limitless potential. It's known as potency, and it's able to recreate any type of cell within the plant. So there is a quiz question here. You guys want to pay attention. Where is botanical stem cells derived from? So are they derived from, you kind of want to think, are they derived from plants, different animals, and plants is the answer there. So when we talk about the meristem, where exactly is that? Here is the meristem. You can see there are these different growth portions of the plant. So you have your axial meristem, you have the root apical meristem. That's where our stem cells are found. And they allow for this growth and this renewal of the plant. they contain different undifferentiated cells. And what that means is that undifferentiated means that they're not yet specialized. They're not yet destined to become one part of the plant. So they can virtually grow into anything within that plant. So they can create any organ within the plant, these plant stem cells. And so I like this picture because it kind of shows you when you harm a plant or when you cut away, that cabbage or that lettuce that's growing, it's those plant stem cells that is allowing it to regrow, and it's capable of that renewal. All right, and so as we continue on, we can see, and I see that there is a question, what's the difference between human stem cells versus plant stem cells? And that is what this webinar is today, so stay tuned. We're going to be discovering that as we continue through these slides. So botanical stem cells, they actually start off with totipotency. They're totipotent. That means they have total potential, having endless potential, and they can become more differentiated and more specialized within the plant. These plant stem cells have the potency to become many different types of specialized cells within the plant. And within the body, you can see how a zygote, which is produced from two gamete cells, so they're joined together through sexual intercourse to create this zygote. And they provide that early development of how have this total potential and embryonic within the cell. So your zygote has totipotency and can become anything, whereas your embryonic cells have pluripotency and can virtually still become anything within a cell, which means it can still differentiate into many types of cells. It's not until it reaches an adult stem cell where it's very targeted and specialized, where it has unipotency. What that means is that it can still, when a plant or when an adult cell, it has unipotency, that its primary function is going to be to maintaining or repairing the tissue in which it's found. So if you take a liver stem cell, its potency is going to only have a potential of maintaining or repairing within that liver. And so that's kind of how you can see where totipotency is very broad, coming down to that tip of unipotency of having a very specialized function within the body. Now, plants, on the other hand, are non-specialized, and they always remain non-specialized. So when they are within the plant, they can virtually become many different types of cells within the plant, and they can continue to renew within the plant no matter where that plant is harmed, and helping to maintain the functionality of that plant. So then you have human stem cells, and these human stem cells are broadly categorized into embryonic cells, or you have adult cells. So you have your embryonic cells that are pluripotent and can develop into all types of cells, and this is a little bit of review of that slide we just mentioned. And then you have adult stem cells that are multipotent, and they're only able to develop into different cell types of tissue which they're found. And basically, they maintain the pool of adult stem cells throughout the organism's lifespan, and they're able to continually supply new cells for repair and regeneration within that certain cell. So I mentioned earlier, if you have a liver stem cell, and that liver that liver stem cell is helping to maintain and support that liver. And when we talk about the skin, we're going to talk about that now. So you have stem cells within the skin. And the epidermis, it undergoes constant renewal. So when you're young, your turnover time is about 4 weeks. But as you age, so between the ages of 30, or even let's take it up to your 80s, that turnover rate can be reduced by 30 to 50%. And that's going to lead, so what happens when turnover is reduced? It's reduced where it's causing those skin cells rising to the surface, they're less useful, and they become dry, they become rough, uneven, dull, and they can look wrinkled. And this constant renewal is mediated by the epidermal stem cells, and they're found at the basal layer of the skin. So let's look at that. So when you have your epidermal skin cells, and they're comprising 2 to 7% of the basal layer of the epidermis. And as you age, those mother stem cells that reside in that basal layer of the skin, they're producing these healthy daughter cells. But with aging, that turnover time is reduced, and it's causing that dryness, and it's impairing that wound healing. So you can see it on the right side, where that young skin has healthy mother stem cells in that epidermis, and she's continuing to produce these healthy daughter cells. But as she ages, that time slows, that turnover time slows. And the older epidermal cells have this lower stem cell function, and it leads to that drier, dehydrated, wrinkled skin. So when you think about stem cells, your skin, these are just some different, you're seeing stem cells more often in skincare, and these are just some quotes from different, even just from different product manufacturers of stem cells and how they're working within the skin. So HydroPeptide is obviously not the only company investing in botanical stem cell technology. This technology is going to continue to change the face of skincare. With this quote here, you can see your skin is going to be older tomorrow than it is today. You saw that in that slide. We all know that's going to happen, and that you're going to have damage that's affecting your skin 24 hours a day. So providing this stem cell protection is imperative. As I said earlier, HydroStem is that shield for your skin. You want to continue, you want to apply it now so it can continue to produce these younger looking, or continue to nourish those mother stem cells. And plant stem cells, they can increase the life and span of human cells and stimulate them to protect them against UV damage. And we're going to see that right here in this slide. So let's actually talk about how plant stem cells actually work within humans, within our own skin. So every human stem cell contains these specific epigenetic factors. And what are epigenetic factors? So epigenetic factors, they actually preserve the DNA, but they allow for alterations in gene function based upon external influences. And this allows for stem cells to have a multipotency and the ability to continue to self-renewal. Plant stem cells, they contain these similar epigenetic factors as human stem cells that have a positive effect on skin's potential for renewal. So they're going to allow for that preservation of the DNA, and they're going to allow for that ability for self-renewal within the skin. And there's botanical stem cells, they possess three properties. They're unspecialized, which means that they don't have a specific role yet within the plant or within when they're applied to the skin. They can renew over long periods of time, and they can develop into cells with specific functions. And the other thing to note, as I mentioned earlier, botanicals contain a rich array of secondary metabolites. So they're going to help nourish and allow for this healthy nourishment to those mother stem cells. So let's talk about this a little bit more. And this is a test question. So since plant stem cells, even though, so I like to say that there's some confusion regarding botanical stem cells. Botanical stem cells, they don't create new cells within human skin, but they actually provide unparalleled antioxidant and nutrient properties. Remember again, those botanicals, they contain secondary metabolites, which include antioxidants, polyphenols, flavonols, amino acids, and they have these nutrient properties that allow the stem cells to function optimally. So when you think about that, you have your epidermal stem cell, the basal layer of the epidermis, and if she is constantly nourished and allowed this protection, she's going to continue to produce those healthy daughter cells at a regular rate of turn, allowing for that more radiant, vibrant skin at the surface of the skin. So again, Baseball Magazine just recently wrote an article called Spelling Points, and the author mentioned plant stem cells are a natural extension of the plant. So again, they're rich, they're very concentrated in antioxidants, and the fact is that they allow them to work wonders that they do within the skin, allowing for that protection within the skin and that nourishment within the skin. And Boldajar from Eminence, he likes to say it's one blank cell that's capable or compatible with everything else, because everything else started out as one blank cell. So if you think about those botanical stem cells being unspecialized, undifferentiated, without a certain role, that what they do is they actually help send these different reparative properties for the skin, where they're helping to strengthen the skin, they're helping to nourish They're helping to enhance that skin renewal and protect against free radicals and prevent oxidative stress within the skin. There are some additional benefits of plant stem cells. So you have safety and quality. One thing that I like to point out is that there's no pesticides, there's no preservatives, there's no fertilizers used with plant stem cells, which allows them to become just a more safe ingredient within skincare. They are very sustainable, and also the sourcing of them is to be noted. Because you take one mother plant, you're not using a large array of crops. You're not using any water or any land. You're not exploiting that land. You're also not endangering any species of plants, and so they're very sustainable. Also, you have better consistency within your extracts. So because you're not using any crops and there's no winter conditions that are maybe causing those seasonality changes, the product becomes more consistent. So with HydroStem, it'll be more consistent than something that is more botanically derived. And just to go a little bit more into the sustainability, we can talk a little bit about, and this is a quiz question. So with sustainability, when you have a botanical stem cells, what happens is that if we take echinacea, for instance, when cultivating echinacea, the average water used to produce 1 kilogram of echinacea, so that's one of those secondary metabolites that makes up echinacea, can be over 1,300 tons of water. But with a botanical stem cell, you only use 1 ton. So it actually helps to preserve water over time, and then also it's helping with that land. And helping, again, with that consistency within the batches. And I really like this quote. So with the future of stem cells, so these stem cells, they are central players. I've shown the growth of botanical stem cells in my previous slides. And these botanical stem cells, they actually are, plant stem cells are maintained by the signals of other cells, which helps them to adjust to the proliferation to the needs of the surrounding organism. So when you apply a botanical stem cell topically to the skin, what's going to happen is that with HydroPeptide, we're encapsulating that botanical stem cell. It's allowing for that penetration deeper within the skin to those epidermal skin cells at that basal layer of the epidermis. What's going to happen is that it's rich in these secondary metabolites, in those antioxidants, in the flavonoids, in amino acids, and it's going to help to enhance, nourish, protect, and support those mother stem cells and allow for this optimal functioning as we age. These plant stem cells have a synergistic effect with our own stem cells, and they enhance our own stem cells with their signaling and with their functioning. So I think this slide and this research here is one that's very important to know of how these plant stem cells actually maintain the signals of other adjacent cells, of those other mother stem cells, and they allow for that longevity is really kind of the point, kind of the significant point here. So let's go in a little bit more to the specific botanical stem cells that are found within HydroStem. We have Bouleger, which is also known as butterfly bush, and we call this our antioxidant stem cell, and we're going to go into more specifics of Bouleger. We have Guticola, which is also known as Centella asiatica, and we like to identify this as more of a firming stem cell. We have Echinacea, and we call this our hydration stem cell. We have Gardenia, which is our rejuvenating stem cell. Edelweiss, which is also known as, forgive me if I butcher the pronunciation, but it's Leantopodium alpinum. You may see that on your ingredient list, and that is Edelweiss. And then we have lilac stem cell, which we identify as more of a clearing stem cell. So we're going to go into some of the studies behind each of these stem cells now, starting off with Bouleger. So Bouleger provides a superior kind of tri-level or triple-level antioxidant protection. And first I definitely want to point out the secondary metabolites it's rich in. So it's rich in verbaceoside, isoverbaceoside, You can see that there at the bottom of the slide, all those components that Boudelager is comprised of within the original plant. And so what it's going to do, it's going to protect our natural antioxidant system. So you can see here the total antioxidant capability of Boudelager allowed for the superior protection of the plant. It also preserved collagen. Because it's providing this great antioxidant protection, it's preserving the collagen up to 100% within the skin. And it also has been shown to reduce inflammation. We've all heard about how inflammation can lead to collagen degradation. So by reducing this inflammation within the skin, it's going to help to protect and preserve the skin even further. It's going to allow for that healthy skin turnover that naturally declines with time. And so this has been shown to reduce that inflammation up to 75%. And again, just note those secondary metabolites that make up Boudelager. And remember how with botanical stem cells, they can actually become 1,000 times more concentrated in those secondary metabolites that make up the plant. All right, and some of you are asking for the webinar email to you. We will have a follow-up email sent to you in about 11:30 Pacific Standard Time. You should have the quiz that's going to be coming, and so that you can take the quiz and just test your knowledge. It's a 13-question quiz. And then in about 2 days, you will actually have an email link sent over to you of the webinar. Also check back on our YouTube station. So if you go to youtube.com/hydropeptide-media, you will also see this mini presentation there. So Gouda cola, also known as Centellia asiatica, this is known as our firming stem cell. And this is going to firm and enhance a more even skin tone, youthful skin over time. And it, again, works in a multi-pronged approach. I want you to note that it is rich in the secondary metabolites. It's rich within. So it has your phytosterols, your amino acids, your polysaccharides. It also has been shown to inhibit free radicals such as nitric oxide. That's one of the most dangerous free radicals, and this is going to help to inhibit the inflammatory cytokines as well. And by reducing this inflammation, it's going to help to preserve that collagen and hyaluronic acid that declines with time, which is going to lead to that firmer skin. If we're preserving our collagen, if we're preserving our natural hyaluronic acid within the skin, you're going to have a more plump foundation. And then it's also been shown to reduce vasodilation. So it has been shown to have an effect on that visible redness as well. So you can see it's been shown to inhibit the free radical nitric oxide up to 70%. It inhibits TNF-alpha. So that's tumor necrosis factor. And it's been shown to inhibit that by 77%. And then it's also been shown, so sorry for this slide, it has a lot of information here, but the tumor necrosis factor is one that has been shown. Let me just find my note here. It actually is involved in cytokine inflammation, and the nitric oxide is a signaling molecule which induces blood vessel relaxation. So this Centellia asiatica, or this Gouda cola, is actually going to control that inflammation and also the blood vessel tone and permeability. It's going to help to keep those blood vessels nice and useful and improve that tone and improve that permeability so that they don't cause that flush and that redness to the skin. It also helps to inhibit collagen decline up to 98%. And so, again, that's going to help allowing for that firming skin. And it's been shown to inhibit that hyaluronic acid decline up to 90%. Again, contributing to a more firm-looking skin. And just a little bit about Gouda cola. Legend has it that, so this is also called tiger's herb. I don't know if you've heard of that before. And in the past, it was used to heal scars. It was shown to be shown to have powerful healing properties. It was used in Indian medicine to treat diseases, treat wounds, burns, and ulcers. So it's a very multifunctional extract or herb, if you will. So next we're going to move on to echinacea. So echinacea is one that I really like to mention, and the echinacea within it. So echinacea is one that has been shown to increase hyaluronic acid within our own skin. So you can see that's one of the secondary metabolites within echinacea. You also have your phytosterols, your amino acids, and your polysaccharides. The echinacea that it includes is one that helps to allow this to be called our hydration stem cell. So this specific stem cell is going to hydrate and revitalize more youthful appearance. And it has, again, a multi-pronged approach within the skin. It's rich in that amino acids, as I mentioned, in the echinacea side. And the clinical studies behind this, when this is in mask form and sets on the skin for 20 minutes, it actually helps to increase that hydration within the skin by 28% in just 20 minutes. So that's pretty phenomenal. This specific echinacea stem cell is found not only within HydroStem, but also within our anti-stress mask. So that's a great product to apply for your clients who do have that dehydration. And it's also going to help that elasticity improve by 11%, again, just within 20 minutes of setting on the skin. This also has been shown to inhibit that nitric oxide, so there's that free radical again. And by inhibiting that nitric oxide, it's going to help to preserve a more useful looking skin. And then it's been shown to improve collagen synthesis by 25%, but also work in kind of a dual approach to collagen. It's not only going to improve that collagen production by 25%, but also reduce that collagen decline by 94%. So again, very multifunctional, and that's attributed to that high concentration of that echinacea of phytosterols and amino acids found within the echinacea. Then we have gardenia, and gardenia we like to call our rejuvenation stem cell. This is rich in phytosterols, amino acids, polysaccharides again, and you'll see that this one has a high reduction of MMPs. So MMPs is matrix metalloproteinases, and anytime you see A's at the end, think of that as an enzyme that's degrading something. So in this case, it's a proteinase, which means it's an enzyme degrading a protein, and collagen is a protein. So this is going to help to preserve and protect that collagen by degrading MMP1 up to 46%. And this directly inhibits that collagenase. So again, there's that A's again. So that's an enzyme that degrades collagen. It's going to reduce that collagen breakdown up to 94%. So it's going to help to preserve and protect that collagen. And it's also been shown to stimulate new collagen up to 33%. And that's where we call this our rejuvenation stem cell, because it's helping to rejuvenate that collagen within the skin. Then we have Edelweiss. And Edelweiss we call our soothing or smoothing stem cell. And this one has really been shown to act as a wrinkle filler. So here you can see the before and after slide of that deep wrinkle. It's been shown to reduce the appearance of wrinkles up to 38%. And at the same time, you'll see that it helped to enhance luminosity. The volunteers of the study, their perception of the increase of luminosity was 325%. It actually increased their hydration. 157% was that perception of the volunteers, that compactness. So think about in the dermal epidural junction, you have a number of different proteins there that help with that compactness, that firmness within the skin, help to improve that by 150%, that skin smoothness by 111%, and that softness, that soft feel within the skin, which, can be contributed to that nice youthful skin. When you have poor skin cell turnover, your skin's going to look dull, it's going to feel rough. Because these botanical stem cells are helping to preserve and protect those mother stem cells, it's allowing for that increased skin cell turnover to improve that luminosity, that hydration, that smoothness, that softness to the skin. So again, this is just we're seeing in vivo the results of botanical stem cells on the skin when you're applying it repetitively. So then moving on. So then we have our lilac stem cell, and we call this our clearing stem cell. And this is one that is rich in verbasocide, and it's that verbasococide, sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but it's that verbasococide that's allowing this to help reduce inflammation, but then also helping with more clarity within the skin. So this has been shown. Many of us know or understand that inflammation is a precursor to aging. It also helps with, or it contributes, it's a contributing factor to acne. And so this lilac is going to provide great inflammatory protection or properties. It helps to reduce inflammation by 75%. And through that reduction in inflammation, it's going to help to clear the skin. And so this specific stem cell has been shown to reduce excess sebum by 72%, so it's going to help to balance that sebum. And that has been shown to have a great reduction or clarity within the skin. So you'll see here that lilac stem cell has been shown to reduce those closed comedones by 47%, open comedones by 48%, papules by 50%, pustules by 51%, and all of these are after 30 days. Not only is it addressing the sebum, but also the uneven skin tones in the skin. So you can see not only the dark discoloration, but also the redness that's associated quite often with acne or blemish-prone skin. So HydroStem is incorporating the clinical levels of each of these 6 botanical stem cells so that you can see these great results in the overall health and wellness of the skin. And just in summary, again, for the botanical stem cells, we're not yet done with the presentation, but like peptides, botanical stem cells have a very specific, they're very specific as far as what they're going to be able to do and the response that they're going to generate within the skin. But they are going to help strengthen the skin barrier. They're going to help to nourish our own skin stem cells. They're going to help to enhance skin renewal. And it's also going to help to protect against free radicals and prevent that oxidative stress to the skin. Now, someone asked, can HydroStem be recommended for acneic skins? And yes, of course, with that lilac stem cell and with that reduction of inflammation, it is going to be something that's appropriate for your more blemish-prone skin. Now, if someone has acne, and maybe if it's someone who needs something that is more strong, I would definitely recommend a redefining serum. But let's say, for instance, you have someone that is more sensitive and maybe their inflammation is due to, or I'm sorry, their acne is due to inflammation. HydroStem would definitely help at reducing that inflammation within the skin and offering some great clarity to the skin. So someone who's more acne prone, maybe someone who is more acneic, I would recommend more of the product within the Anti-Wrinkle Plus Clarify collection, but it is something that will help to control that acne within the skin. All right, so now we've talked about our botanical stem cells. We're going to move on to peptides. And I'm going to give just a little summary of what peptides are. And with peptides, peptides have a specific activity within the skin or within the body. They can act as a cell communicator. They're able to address every skincare concern with a specific signal. So it's like a lock and key, and we showed that lock and key picture there. They're addressing a specific skincare concern, and they can address, as I mentioned earlier, fine lines and wrinkles, loss of elasticity, sagginess, dryness, dehydration, and the list goes on. And that's why HydroPeptide incorporates 60 different peptides. And the reason why we do is because these peptides, they do hold future promise within the skin, and they can really form fit to any specific skin type, skin color, skin age, or skin condition. And peptides are really remarkable in this innovation of skincare, and they do hold this key to the future, again, to really address multiple skincare concerns, not just aging and wrinkles, but helping with all those other things that we see as we age, you know, the dark circles. As you get older, you're starting to see more of that rosacea and that redness popping up. But it's because these peptides really in their root form are cell communicators with a specific response. And we're going to talk about some of those specific responses now. So we, in summary, have our volumizing peptides, we have our CoQ10 activating peptides, and we have our preservative peptides within HydroStem. So Syntax is a volumizing dual peptide. And so this specific dual peptide works within the dermal epidural junction. So here I like to show that bottom picture to the right there. You have your dermis, and then you have basically at the dermis, you have these different, I like to call it a chain link of proteins. So collagen is a protein. There's multiple types of collagen. There's actually 28 different types of collagen discovered to date. Not all of them are for the skin, but about half of them are. So you can see you have collagen type 4, you have collagen 17 here. But then you also have laminin. What is laminin? Laminin is helping with that compactness of the skin, and it's another protein. It's actually the second most abundant protein within the skin. You have your collagen type 7, and what this is providing this great anchoring, if you will, of the skin, and it's helping your skin to remain nice and compact. And Syntax has been shown to stimulate all these different proteins within the skin. So you can see integrin, and think of integrin as improving the communication within those different proteins. That's increased by 120%. You have collagen 17 increased by 120%, collagen type 7 60%, collagen 4 by 190%. And again, think of all these different collagens as that helping to contribute to that chain link of holding your skin cells nice and compact. And it improved that collagen type 17 was improved by 190%. And so that overall collagen network and organization was actually improved by 62%. So this is going to really help to improve that longevity and that usefulness within the skin and help with fine lines and wrinkles as well. Here you can see the before and afters. Someone after 56 days, so just 2 months of 1% Syntax, and remember, HydroPeptide, our VLL technology, we're including a variety of peptides at their clinical level, so we're incorporating the Syntax at 1% in our product with repetition, so you're getting a variety of different peptides within the product in order to have a great response within the skin. And the picture on the right really helps to show that compactness within the skin. Before, you had this kind of spreading of those different skin or layers within the epidermis and within that dermal epidural junction. But afterwards, because we strengthen those different proteins within the skin, it becomes more compact and it helps it contribute to that firmness of the skin. So after 2 months of using Syntax, the skin tone was improved by 32%. The skin cohesion, or that elasticity, was improved by 23%. And Syntax is used in quite a few of HydroPeptide's different products. It's one that I really like as far as a peptide. If I were to choose a peptide that's one of my favorite, Syntax is one of them. Peptide Q10 is a newer peptide that I'm really excited about. Specifically, this one is found within HydroStem alone. And this one is enhancing your body's own production of CoQ10. So CoQ10, what is that? It's a critical energy generator within the skin, and it actually helps to promote the mitochondria. And here at the bottom, you can see I have a picture of the mitochondria. And the mitochondria, think of that as your powerhouse. It's helping your skin it's helping with the energy within the skin. It's critical to the energy generation. It's acting as the CoQ10 actually acts as a powerful antioxidant itself, but it declines with time, and it actually can diminish up to 75% in the epidermis for people between the ages of 30 and 80. So it's something that is very essential to the skin. And there is a quiz question here. So on CoQ10, it's a CoQ10 activating peptide. It's critical to the energy production of the skin. But what it also does is it actually helps synergistically improve the antioxidant function of the other antioxidants, or those botanical stem cells within HydroStem. So think of it as kind of an amplifier of those different antioxidants within the skin. Not only does CoQ10 enhance your own antioxidant function, but it also helps the energy within the skin and helps boost the antioxidant protection of other antioxidants. So this is one that is really important to boost within the skin, and you can see again how it declines with time. So here's some of the results that we see within the skin. This CoQ10 activating peptide it boosted CoQ10 up to 46% within the skin. This helped to boost the ATP. ATP is phosphate. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing that right. But it helps, it's the adenosine triphosphate. Yes, I had it correct. Wanted to make sure I did. But with this adenotriphosphate, that's the energy. So it increased that energy by 65% within the skin cells. And this helped to act as an antioxidant booster to help protect against those free radicals. So you can see how it helped to reduce that free radical attack by 38% within the skin. And here is a picture of the peptide Q10, it helping to protect and preserve and repair and rejuvenate. And then we also have our preservative peptides. And the preservative peptides are something new that HydroPeptide has incorporated in our reformulations. And this is a phenomenal ingredient because it allows us to have a paraben-free product that's also providing a broad spectrum antimicrobial protection to the formulations. So it's capable of restricting that microorganism growth, and it does it by acidifying the environment, and a byproduct of that acidification is actually creating antimicrobial peptides. They're called bacteriocins, and they're helping to protect and preserve the formulation. But they actually have a side benefit to the skin as well. And here you can see one of the side benefits of helping to improve the moisturization within the skin. So unlike other preservatives that maybe can be harsh and controversial within formulation, this is one that is naturally derived. It's very effective, but also provides additional moisturization to the skin. Then we also, within HydroStem, have different botanicals, and one of them being green tea. This is a very multifunctional tea, and it has many anti-aging benefits. I love green tea, and you'll find it in many of our products. It's rich in your polyphenols, so you can see there's the EGC gene, and many of you can, I like to memorize the acronyms instead of the actual name, but if you see epigallocatechin, gallate, you have EGC, and you have ECG, and then you have EC. And all of these are polyphenols that are going to act as powerful antioxidants to help scavenge different free radicals. And gallocatechins, they can actually stabilize other extracts, and they help to prevent hydrolysis. So what that means is it's going to help to protect and preserve and act synergistically to prevent this hydrolysis of other antioxidants and other beneficial ingredients, such as our peptides, within the skin. And initially in the presentation, I talked about the synergies and helping to stabilize and having antioxidants that prevent these free radicals from attacking the skin. But by preventing these free radicals, we're actually going to have a more amplified signal. The signal of the peptides isn't going to be interfered by different free radicals within the skin. So you're going to have a more beneficial response by allowing these different peptides in combination with these antioxidants. Green tea has also been shown to reduce inflammation, helps to stimulate, and it acts as a slimming ingredient. So you'll find green tea within our firming moisturizer. And then it's also shown to have antibacterial properties. So here you can see the polyphenols and the different secondary metabolites that make up green tea and the benefits it's able to provide. We also have niacin, and niacin is one of my, I would also have to say it's one of my favorite ingredients. This has been very multifunctional. So a lot of times when people think of niacin, and they'll think of maybe more of a niacin flush and how it's very stimulating. It can be stimulating. But this specific niacinamide, helps to improve the moisturization within the skin. It's also been shown to reduce the appearance of wrinkles, and it promotes a more even skin tone. It's a part of the B vitamin. And one thing to note about niacin was actually discovered in the early 20th century as a vitamin to prevent pellagra. That was an epidemic disease with severe cutaneous lesions. And it was actually, this niacin was actually originally called vitamin PP, which stands for pellagra prevention. So it's quite a unique ingredient, and it helps to improve that moisturization of the skin. So I've had the question asked, well, how does niacin actually improve moisturization? And it does it because it boosts the free fatty acids in the ceramides. within the skin. So think of the ceramides as that skin glue, helping to keep your skin nice and compact and also hydrated, nice and balanced in hydration. Niacin's also been shown to increase the keratin synthesis within the skin, and also filaggrin. And filaggrin plays a central role in helping to improve the keratinocytes. In Volucrin, you may have heard of that before, some of you may have not, but this is a component of the cornified corneocytes. So this is going to help just with that skin cell and the compactness of the skin cells and help with improving that skin cell turnover within the skin. And then even though niacin can be more of a stimulating ingredient, it's actually been shown to soothe sensitive skin. So it's a phenomenal ingredient. You'll see here it improves the fibroblasts by 20%, collagen secretion by 54%. And if you're not already starting to love niacin, I hope you are with some of this multifunctionality here. In addition, it helps with a more even skin tone. It helps to significantly lighten the skin. And the way that it works is it helps with inhibiting the transfer of melanin between the melanosomes. So it's not a tyrosinase inhibitor. In fact, it's helping with the transfer of melanosomes between the keratinocytes and the melanocytes. So it's a great product to use in conjunction with your tyrosinase inhibitors. And then it does have antibacterial properties as well. So going back to the question, can HydroStem be used for acneic skin? And not only does the lilac stem cell help with that, but so does niacin as well, helps with a more clear complexion. So additional ingredients within the HydroStem, we have hyaluronic acid. And this is one that acts as a smart moisturizer to help balance hydration within the skin. We have allantoin, which is a great anti-irritant. You have vitamin C, which is also very multifunctional and anti-aging, but it's also capable of supporting that collagen production, helps to fight free radicals, and helps with brightening discoloration. You have cucumber, which is an anti-inflammatory, also rich in vitamin C, so it possesses those multifunctional anti-aging properties as well. Citrus contains vitamin C and components of alpha hydroxy acids, which is going to help to reveal more radiant skin. And then you have licorice, which is a tyrosinase inhibitor, so that's going to improve that skin tone. So HydroStem is a very powerful anti-aging ingredient. It possesses that stem cell antioxidants concentration as well. Very age-defying. So what is it? We want to take all this science that we just heard and bring it back to the consumer. So who is HydroStem appropriate for? It really is appropriate for all age groups. It's going to be something that's addressing prevention as well as addressing, as you've seen, the clarity, the brightness, even tone, the health and wellness of the skin. It's going to be something that also helps to fight those fine lines and wrinkles. And I really do suggest this as something that's going to really guard against those free radicals. So if you have someone using PowerStem in combination with the HydroStem, I recommend this as your day serum with your PowerStem at night as a souped up deep wrinkle fighter. And you're going to see a mini-series on Power Serum as well, so that you can really get to know the science in those 13 different peptides that are comprised within the Power Serum. So they're ideal for all skin types. It's great for wrinkle prevention. It's great to reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It's great for that lackluster, dull, rough, aging skin. We recommend that you use this AM and PM, or if you're using it in combination with another peptide product, you could use this in the AM and that other peptide product to continue for that signaling in the PM. And this is the perfect partner for this. Really, the facelift, being a nice light moisturizer, is great for daytime use. It's a little bit lighter combination, but again, you're going to really customize to your client's skin type and skincare concerns, and maybe recommend Power Lift if they have a more dry skincare or skin type. And then with HydroStem, here are just some of the specs behind it. So it's available for retail, and that is also available for professional. We have other professional treatments that it's found within. So it's found within our Customized Cleanse Express Facial, our Advanced Resurfacing Stem Cell Facial. Right now, we offer our Summer Blueberry Lemonade Refresher Facial, and we'll talk about that promotion that's going on right now for our customers. It's found within the HydroFacial Anti-Aging Upgrade, the Microdermabrasion Anti-Aging Upgrade, and a post-laser treatment for home care. And if there's any of these protocols that you'd like to see, please email us or your rep so that you can see those. So someone is asking, would you be able to use HydroStem and Power Serum at night? And the answer is yes. You can actually, if you have a client who is cocktailing HydroStem and Power Serum and they are one who's purchasing them together, you can definitely do HydroStem and Power Serum combined together. That's not going to change the results and the effectiveness of the two at all. All right. And yes, you can use this in conjunction with microcurrent as well. There's a number of different protocols that we're using to enhance or use HydroPeptide with different devices, and microcurrent is one of them that you can use as well. So let's bring this back to retail and talking about retail. Because one thing that we want to do is make sure that we're helping to improve your retail to your clients. So let's bring this back. And this is going to be a quiz question, because I want you to take all this science and this information that you learned today and bring it back to your customer. So if your customer is asking, if your customer is telling you what their main skincare concerns are, first off, you have to ask them. We want to ask, what are your main skincare concerns? What are you noticing, or what do you want to correct about your skin today? And so let's say, for instance, that you have a client that says, well, my main skincare concern is that my skin is becoming more dull. It's more lifeless. It's less firm. So, and then maybe let's say they also mention that they're out in the sun quite a bit and they worry if maybe their current regimen is effectively protecting their skin. And you're going to find out all this information by really asking questions. And it's really important that you do ask these questions, because retail sales should be a main focus of every spa, contribute to the overall success of the spa. And by recommending products to your customers, you're going to be providing better customer service, but then also creating these great solutions that solve the individual skincare concerns of your client. So let's just say you find out that this is the concerns of your customer. And what you want to do is you want to repeat back what you've heard. So you're telling me that your skin is looking dull and it doesn't seem to have that much life to it. I understand your concern. I too have had the same concern, or I have many customers that have that concern. So you want to be able to relate to your customer or find a way to relate to that customer. Then what you want to do is summarize what HydroStem is going to do specifically for their skincare concern. So what I would say here is that HydroStem actually contains CoQ10 activating peptides to improve the cellular metabolism or the energy within the skin. And it's going to help with that vibrancy that it once had. It also contains 6 different botanical stem cells, which act as a super antioxidant or a souped up antioxidant serum to really protect and preserve the skin and address maybe the collagen loss that you're experiencing. It's going to help to improve the hyaluronic acid content, that hydration within the skin, and it's also going to improve that firming activity within the skin. It's also simultaneously going to protect a protective shield and help fight against those environmental aggressors that attack the skin. So your skin is going to be able to regenerate optimally and act like it did when it was younger. Now, this is something that is great for your client. It's great to kind of come up with your own wording for this. And what I really do recommend when you're retailing is make sure to demonstrate these products. So as you're saying this, don't just say it to your customer. Make sure that you're demonstrating it on their hands or applying it, or when you're in the treatment room, talk to them about how this product is really going to change the look and feel of their skin and specifically address their skincare concerns as you're applying it. So demonstration is definitely key. So here are some tips to improve your retail. Create a product focus of the week or of the month. We suggest HydroStem+6 to start because that's the start of our mini presentation. Study and watch this video again on YouTube. So here's the link. You want to go to youtube.com/HydroPeptide Media. Test what you've learned on HydroStem+6. So follow the link, and that's going to be in the quiz that's following this presentation, encourage all your staff to watch this video and take the quiz. So this will be on YouTube. You'll find the other mini presentations that'll be there as well in coming weeks. So create your own little calendar for them, and then make sure to role play, practice, 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 and definitely do demonstrations at the same time. Now, if you take the quiz that's coming up before the end of the promotion, which I'm going to show you next, you're going to actually achieve, and you achieve a passing score of 80% or higher, you're going to receive an additional 5% in marketing support on your promotional orders, and this is for all of our U.S. customers. So you'll receive an additional 5% in marketing support on your promotional orders throughout the promotional dates, which I will show to you now. So I am actually going to pause